Be still and know that I am God. We must realize that the cause underlying most failures to effectual prayer is muddled thinking and lack of emotional control. The important thing to observe is that we find the same law operative in the magnetic attraction of impulses of fear, jealousy, anger, and despair, which are responsible for most of the failures and frustrations in life, as we find in the ineffable emotion of love, which results in good. A single principle, an identical force, lies underneath accomplishment or failure. Fear begets inescapable tribulation. It is the manifestation which alone differs according to the mood of the individual. All disease has its origin in emotional frustration. Man is the product of his emotions and moods. The tendency is to project blame on another for unfortunate circumstances, stressing heredity, environment, or lack of opportunity. This attitude of mind sometimes acts as a temporary hypodermic to bolster lagging morale, but it does not get rid of the causes of suffering and afflictions. The world is a mirror reflecting our predominant mental attitude and is constantly showing us ourselves. We do not always like what we see, neither do we take the initiative and proceed to change the picture. If we indulge in negative tendencies, we soon come face to face with conditions of a similar vibration. Like attracts like. This is the perfect working of the immutable law of cause and effect. We consistently deny that everything depends on cause, and with stupendous blindness seek to change the effect. A streak of jealousy aroused in us will indubitably attract situations involving other jealous people, either in the home, at business, or in our social world. Quite often, we hear people say that the one thing they dislike most is jealousy in others. If we watch their reactions, we find the fault is in themselves. What we think or feel finds its affinity in our external world and finds its likeness. The lesson to be learned is, we must take the beam out of our own eye by self-study and self-examination. Eventually we shall not discern even the mote in our brother's eye. When we see faults in others, let us look inside ourselves, for there we shall find, if we look with unbiased examination, them hidden in a corner of our own thoughts. Frustration and an inferiority complex are, as a rule, due to frustrated vanity. If we constantly fail and our efforts meet a stone wall, we must look within and see why. It may have the appearance of important circumstances. To effect a change of circumstances, there must be a change of consciousness, a consciousness dominated by the spirit of success. In order to succeed, we must have the confidence of success, erasing from the mind every discordant thought. It is our mood, the intensity of sustained faith, which impresses itself on the subjective mind. The barrier to success is when we allow our personal ego to draw a boundary around our consciousness. It is good also to ask ourselves if we are simply seeking recognition and applause for ourselves, or are we sincerely interested in what we are attempting for its own sake? Do we want only to feather our own nest, or do we want to serve humanity? Do we want to be an Emerson, a Lincoln who loved humanity, or do we seek self-aggrandizement and personal glory? Shall we give a lasting message of truth, or shall we condition it to crowds of people? If we have something to offer, it will be used, except we stand in its way. Vacillation, wavering, and the so-called mercurial ups and downs result from a lack of an inner objective or ideal. Often a person says, "I am going around in circles." He hopes someone will come along eventually and show him the way. He lacks stability and does not know if he would only become still and listen to the inner voice, it would speak to him and guide him. "Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth." In the scriptures, we are given both the formula and the mode for bringing to birth the living manifestation of our archetypal ideal. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth the living creature after its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, Let us make man in our own image after our likeness. Then the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul, breathed into or inbreathed. If this breathing into can create one manifestation, it can by virtue of its power create another. Therefore, we shall prescribe a rhythmic breathing exercise to overcome nervous tension and induce relaxation. At first, until it becomes natural, it is well to perform the exercise sitting erect or lying down on a flat surface. There can be no accomplishment where there is tension. Effortless effort is the maxim for all spiritual progress, which is the prerequisite of all earthly achievement. Exercise. 1. Your chest, neck, and head should be held in as straight a line as possible. 2. Then inhale through the nostrils, mentally counting 6 pulse throbs. 3. Hold breath during 3 counts. 4. Exhale through the nostrils during 6 counts. 5. Hold lungs empty during 3 counts. 6. Repeat as often as desired as no slightest discomfort is felt. After a little practice, the rhythm will be perfectly established without necessity of mentally counting. When this is achieved, all tenseness and effort will disappear and complete relaxation results. Later, you can execute this exercise with perfect ease while walking, each step a rhythmic unit of count. However, in the beginning, especially for city dwellers where there is the continued interruption of traffic crossings and congestions, it is better to confine the exercise to the sitting or lying down posture. In addition to the physical reaction of this rhythmic breathing, there is a spiritual response. With each inhalation, you may impregnate your subconscious with whatever suggestion you wish. It is important to remember that suggestions should be practiced simultaneously with the in-breathing. This chapter is written primarily for beginners and for those students who have not learned the fine art of relaxation and repose, which is akin to sleep. The latter is really a device intended to induce the auto-hypnotic state, which is most ideal for impressing the subconscious. For example, if you are gloomy or despondent, as you in-breathe, orally or mentally say, "I am happy," and feel it. Smile. This exercise may be repeated 24 or 100 times at one time, and repeated as often as you like. When we learn to breathe rhythmically, its effect on the nervous system is such that all tension is dissolved. All of us know that from a physiological standpoint, deep diaphragmatic breathing is very beneficial in promoting bodily well-being. The sensation of well-being, which always follows the drawing of a deep breath, favors the acceptance of any new suggestion. During these breathing exercises, we should visualize ourselves as we long to be, full of vigor and health. The regular rhythm of breathing brings about a stimulus analogous to that exerted by every rhythm, such as, for example, music or dance forms, which have a soothing, lulling influence. This rhythm tends to immobilize the attention and induce relaxation. Many students find the suggestive value of respiratory exercise a great boon. To cite a case, an elderly lady who suffered from asthma for many years completely cured herself by the following exercise. She sat down quietly in her armchair and began to breathe slowly, and with each inhalation she would silently affirm, "I am all health." She would keep this up for from 10 to 15 minutes morning and evening, and sometimes at noon. In 2 weeks' time, she was completely cured. Man is a pulsating, rhythmic being. Our bodies are as much subject to rhythmic laws as is everything else in the universe. The ancients said, "Every atom in space dances to the rhythm of the gods." The universe is simply one note or tone in God, but there is an infinite number of tones or rates of vibration within the one. Everything that we see is vibrating, and nothing is in absolute rest in nature. Only God or the Sphinx is motionless. Nature is the birth or activity of God, the one manifesting himself in countless ways. The moment forms appear in the world, they begin to change, and from them appear other forms, and so on ad infinitum. Forms are simply appearances, they come and go, and likewise the body of man is constantly changing. There is almost a complete change in the chemistry of the body in a matter of minutes, so much so that scarcely one atom or electron composing your body will be present a few months hence. All is vibration, and constant change pervades the universe. The beating of your heart follows a certain rhythm, so also does the ebb and flow of the tide. In breathing, therefore, it is important to get into the mental mood of rhythm, such as the counting employed in music. For the individual who finds it difficult to relax and immobilize his attention, it is well to isolate himself in a room where there will be no disturbance. It is important that you get into a rhythm until you feel the vibration throughout your whole body. Now look at a blue light, preferably a reading lamp with a blue bulb, 30 or 40 watts, placed about 10 inches from the eyes. Look directly at the bulb. This has an auto-hypnotic influence and induces profound relaxation. When the eyes are tired out, close them, but do not go to sleep. Maintain conscious control of your thoughts. There must be no sense of strain, as immobilization of the attention must be carried out with the minimum of voluntary effort. Form a clear mental outline of your ideal, of what you desire, and then feel the reality of it. There must be one-pointedness of thought. Dwell in the fact that you now are the being you long to be, or that you have that which you long to have. Dwell on the thought with confident expectancy. After a week or 10 days, discontinue use of the blue light, as it is only a physical adjutant, and we must not become slaves to physical props of any kind. We must begin to induce the happy, relaxed state by the mental image we have. Failure is due to a lack of faith. The law never fails.